Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, I'm Marla. I make videos every week of the things that I make that you can make too. This week, we're gonna be making something for Mother's Day. Mother's Day is this Sunday. My mom and my mother-in-law don't live here near us, so we won't be able to celebrate together, but I did want to show you something that you could make for your mom or for your Mother's Day celebration. So this week we're going to be making a fruit bouquet. So I'm going to show you how to cut the fruit in such a way that you can attach it to skewers and put it in a pot so it looks like a bouquet. Let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing that you want to do is prepare by pulling out all of the fruit you're going to be using and also the supplies you'll need. So you're going to need some form of a skewer. I've received these bouquets in the past, and when I have, I've just kept these little plastic skewers that they use professionally, but you can also use just these bamboo skewers would work as well. I'm going to be using this flower-shaped cookie cutter that I had in my stash, and also this tool is called a melon baller if you're not familiar with it. If you don't have that, you can also just use like a teaspoon, something that's round that you can work in the melon to make a ball. And then of course some paring knives and things to cut up the fruit. I'm going to be using this blue ceramic pot as my base. You can use any kind of pot. You just want to be sure that it's heavy enough that the fruit won't tip it over. So in the pot, I'm going to be placing this head of lettuce. I just wanted it all to be natural, but you could use styrofoam here, just anything that you can poke the skewers in and that they'll stand up straight. And then here I have some curly kale, just so that I can cover up the lettuce. And you know, it kind of looks like lace almost when you put it in there, but it's just gonna cover up that base. It's just really so that there is a foundation that you can stick the skewers into, and this kale will just hide that lettuce. And then it will also just cover up some of the bottoms of those the skewers so that you don't see them as much. Now we're going to move on to the assembly of our flowers that are going to go into this bouquet. So I'm starting with the grapes. I have two different colors and two different sizes. I decided to use the wood bamboo skewers for these because they actually had a little more grip to it because it's wood versus the plastic, and it just felt like they were staying in place a little better than when I tried on the plastic skewers. So I just went with the wood for these ones. But I'm just adding, I think, about 5 or 6 grapes on each one of these skewers, pushing the top grape all the way to the end so you really can't see the wood at the top. So then I just continue along, make, 5 or 7 of each of these with both the red grapes and the green grapes. With floral design, as I understand, it's always good to do odd numbers of things. So I think I did 5 of each. Now we're moving on to the cantaloupe. When I've seen these in the past, sometimes people use a cutting tool that gives it a curved edge. I don't have one of those, so I just cut them into, kind of shaped, curved triangles here, just so they look a little different. Ultimately, what you want is each kind of fruit to look a little different, so it's a variety, like a bouquet of all different kinds of fruit, flowers is what you're looking for. With the strawberries, you can either leave the green stems on or take them off. They just didn't look that great in these strawberries. If they had looked better, I may have left them on. But I just cut off the ends of each of the strawberries. And then these blueberries were, I think, the largest blueberries I had ever seen. But what I wanted to do is just use the blueberry kind of as the base of the strawberry flower. So that's what I did. I added the blueberry first and then inserted the strawberry on top of the blueberry. And that's my little strawberry flower. So with the strawberry ones, I actually made all the strawberries I had. So I made more of these than I did some of the others. But really, when deciding how many you're going to need, it really depends on the size of your pot. So if you have a larger pot, you may want to make more. A smaller pot, you may not need as many. Okay, moving on to the pineapple. Here's where I'm going to use that flower-shaped cookie cutter and the melon baller. So I'm slicing the pineapple at about a ½ inch each for each slice. I didn't bother taking off the rind because, as you see, I'm just using the cookie cutter in the center of each of those pieces to make the flower. And then I'm also using the melon baller on that cantaloupe to be able to make the what will end up being the center of the flower. So I just take one of those plastic skewers that has, you'll notice that some of them have a little base that allows the flower or the pineapple to stay in place a little better. So that helps on those. But if you don't have these plastic skewers, I do think the wood skewers would have enough grip to hold the pineapple in place without it sliding down, especially since the center of the pineapple is much more firm than the outer edge. So use that center to hold the skewer. Okay, moving on to the watermelon. Honestly, this was the worst tasting watermelon I think I've certainly had this year. But since I was just using this for display for this video and I'm not actually giving it to anyone, I did go ahead, use a star cookie cutter and cut this out. Honestly, if I was giving this to someone, I would not have included this watermelon. So a good tip here, be sure you taste the fruit and make sure that it's something that you'd want to be giving to someone. Now it's time to assemble our bouquet. I covered the rest of the lettuce with that curly kale, and then I just started adding the different skewers that I made, all the different kind. These grape ones are obviously taller, and so I put in some of those first, but really just like creating bouquets, you just want to have a variety and vary where you place all of your little flowers. I wanted to be sure that there was some all over the edges, and in the end, I think I had probably a little more than I needed to fill this pot, but that was fine. I just kept adding them in, especially all along the outside edge, just so it would obscure or cover up some of those the sticks, so you wouldn't be able to see the sticks, and it was more covered entirely around the whole pot. There are certainly other kinds of fruit that you could use in this kind of a display. I actually forgot that I had bought some oranges. I was just going to cut them into wedges and use those as well. So that would be something. You could use kiwi if you just, cut them in half and kind of added a scalloped edge to the top. It would look like a little tulip almost. So, be creative, use what you have in your store, and just try different things. Like, I think it looks really cute if you use different kinds of shape and make them look different. I've also seen in this type of bouquets, sometimes I've even seen chocolate dipped strawberries. So that is something you could do too to make it, more of a dessert kind of a bouquet. And then so as the last step, I just used a little bit more of that curly kale just to cover up around the outer edge, just kind of to camouflage some of those sticks at the bottom. All the fruit that I prepared did end up fitting in my ceramic pot, so I'm really happy with how that turned out. Just be sure at the end that you spin it around a few times, making sure that it looks good from all sides. Adjust if you need to, just to be sure that it looks full everywhere. All right, we're done. I hope you give this one a try, and if you do, let me know how yours turns out. I think this would make a great Mother's Day gift, or also just a great centerpiece at any event that you're having. And happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. Thanks for watching, everybody. Take care. See you next time. Bye-bye.